And I need you to apply what you have learned today in question C. Signify when you finish. And this is question D. So you read it from the beginning always. Find the equation of the line, of a line which is parallel to that line, but with y-intercept that. So you need to think of what I need from you. Okay? All right. Okay, let me know when you're done with C and D. This is something I will not accept. If you're not ready to learn, I just send you out of the class. Anyone done with B? Good, okay? Go around and check. Just continue with your work, ignore me. Okay, not completed. Always simplify your equation. When I say simplify, I mean no fraction. Always simplify, no fraction. So your answer shouldn't be y equals 2 divided by 3x minus 5. No. No decimal, no fraction. You know what to do. Declare the fraction, always. Just continue. I'll come back. Are you done with D also? Can you hear me when I said it loud and clear? I said no fraction, no decimal. I said it loud and clear. When someone says this way, don't try to justify what you have done. What's that? After school?
Yes, I'm revised by tomorrow. It's a 1 hour play. Can we like basically everything?
Wait, so you just got out of the recitations, contest, and now drama. So what's the next thing now?
Probably will have like a lab. I have drama. How many do you do it? I
Can you see how I establish what M is, I establish what C is? If you do not have this in your notes, when I give you the worksheet, how would you write what I want? Can I have your attention, please? When I give you a question like this, in the worksheet, the gradient worksheet tomorrow, I do not expect to see y equals 2x plus 3. You don't just write y equals 2x plus 3. Try at least, well, this case might be different, but in this case, at least, don't just write the final result. Well, here, we could see, oh, 2 is that, 3 is that, fine. But here, when you write y equals this plus this, you have to simplify, right? I can see some people writing just the equation like this is a quiz competition and nobody cares about your workings. I do. So, the way I write something on the board, can you at least write them in your notebook, particularly the important stuff? So when I give you the worksheet, you can always go back to your notebook and check what are the basic requirements of that solution. So you don't get marked down, when I start grading your papers. So here, my M is that, and my C is that. So you don't have to write M is that, C is that. But when you substitute that into mx plus c, I do not expect you to stop at that. And I do not expect to see decimal for the 1 million time now. So that would be 2y negative 3x plus 10. Not plus 5. Who got that correctly? Is it that or something equivalent? In IGCSE, if this answer is given, this will be given to the examiner. OE. OE means or equivalent. Meaning, Mr. Justin might decide to write 2y plus 3x equals 10, for example. It's still the same, isn't it? Okay? So it doesn't matter where you stop. But I would rather you simplify for the purpose of training. Okay, how do you do C?
So
What? Change what? How did you do this? Can somebody walk me through your solution? Yes, ma'am.
the equation of the line equals to parallel, but it's mentioned that the y-intercept is -9, so you have to change that to base.
I don't understand. Oh, you just change negative to negative 9?
That's fine.
Okay, any other? Yes, Sandy?
Because if the parallel and the gradient must be the same, so n equals 5, and then the y-intercept is equal 5, then it is negative 9, so y is 5 and c is negative 9, so you put it together, y equals 5.
Y is not 5, so you mean M is 5.
A graph.
Yeah, I get it. I'm just telling it. Because it looks something like, wait, Y is 5? No, Y is not 5. Okay. They are parallel. We know the gradient are the same. But I don't think you shouldn't just change minus it to minus 9 like that. Okay. So this is the way. What about this one? Maybe when you look at this one together, then
You have to make y the same again.
Why would you want to do that?
But it's asking for the equation.
So you know what the gradient is.
So we know what the gradient is. Okay, you're right. So that's the reason. And why is the gradient important?
So you put it and you know.
So we know the gradient of the first one. So there are two lines here being compared. Are you following this? You look confused. Are you confused? No. There are two lines being compared. The line that is required, whose equation is the question, and it's being compared with another line whose equation is given. Okay? But we know that these two lines are perpendicular. So if you can get the gradient of this, we can get the gradient of the line we need. Why is the gradient important? We are currently doing the gradient-intercept form. So we need the gradient and we need the intercept. The intercept is given, the origin, right? So the intercept is what? 0. So we already have the intercept. The only thing is, what is the gradient of the line you are looking for? Rather than giving you the gradient directly like this, you were told, oh, the line you are looking for is perpendicular to this line. So if you know the gradient of this one, you can know the gradient of the line you are about to find. So you start with what is said, make y the subject, and the first thing will be to negative 7y, right? Plus negative 2x, am I right? Talk to me, please. Negative 14. Is this right? Then I divide by what? Negative 7. Then y will be
2 over 7.
2 over 7x
Plus 2.
plus 2. So from here, M1. I call it M1 because now there are two lines involved. Okay? Now there are two lines involved. M1 means the gradient of the first line. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Any question? And M2 will be the gradient of the second line, which is what?
You have to flip it and add.
Which is what?
Negative
Let's give me a number. Thank you. Negative 7 over 2. Because we know that line, the first line and the second line are perpendicular. Now M2 is the gradient you need. Okay? Do you know what that sign means?
Perpendicular. Upside down.
Okay? So, from the question we know C is 0, then you can substitute. So y is negative 7 over 2x plus 0, of course, which is just negative 7 over 2. Then you can multiply through by 2, and you get 2y equals negative 7x. Any question? Good. Question? Practice the same make perfection. If you do not practice, you're going to have problem with this kind of stuff. You need to practice. We still have about 27 minutes. Lucky for us. All right. Quiet, please. So does everybody have question with gradient-intercept form? So again, gradient-intercept form, you use y equals mx plus c. Establish your gradient directly or indirectly. Directly, in these two questions, they are direct gradient, right? But in the last two questions, they are indirect gradient because they give you another, yes please. Oh, we missed a break. Okay, 3 minutes in the class. Yes. 3 minutes, please. Are you? Mister, can you try to go behind the camera next time?
I got you some pens and a toothbrush.
Can you not do that? I think it's a joke to you.
Tires and mugs and gas
You need to start taking life serious.
stuff. I mean, it's okay. You be pleased to know everyone's gone completely duly because of you. Talking about
Yeah.
nothing.
You know what to do.
Talking about nothing else. Okay. This totally changes. Turns you into some kind of wizard. Here, I got you a box of juice as well.
Oh, Mr. Daniel also.
Police are all stopping people in the
Yeah.
street,
Oh, sorry.
searching houses. Even created an emergency
You
call.
gave us
Right?
the one page or the one that
Yeah, we already got some requirements for money.
So yeah, I know. That was the one I
That's the one with one.
saw it.
She keeps telling everyone they can't find body parts moving now.
This was me.
Maybe behind. So what's there? She's enjoying it. Putting the huge the rock.
I'm saying there's one
The
more.
one page one.
Yeah, I did that.
Someone that.
Oh my god. Just special being
And you say you're like, okay.
Yes, seriously.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
What about Malafree? You love me crazy about Malafree. Okay, for real. Oh my god. Oh my god, can you help me boy?
Come this place. What is she doing? Sonia,
What?
what are you doing?
You know, it's Peter Pan. What's up?
What's it about?
It's Peter Pan.
Hope I didn't disturb the service. We're August, please make it.
always like that.
Yeah, he was. Hold on. Me and Elijah were keeping together. Oh, I didn't notice he was with me. Yeah, we're keeping together. You know what Elijah's like. Yeah, if we're me outside, you know what Elijah's like. Not really. Just, he was so nervous to go in alone. Hey, know that. I wasn't thinking of that.
Yeah, exactly.
He's right now.
Yes. It's still recording.
Don't mention it.
No.
Know it, bro.
Tâm mùng á.
Yeah. Well, John will look after him. Okay, guys. So, anyway, we celebrated you know that yeah. Well, really right. Good.
Đúng một.
Is it like some weird?
I'm only saying that.
Oh my god, your head is so
Okay, you're seated. Show's over, guys. Show's over, guys.
Wait, Joey,
So, gradient point form. As the name implies, you must know what and what. The gradient and which point? The point on the line. It must pass through a point. That's the meaning of gradient point form. You must know the gradient and a point that the line passes through. So again, and that is like the question I gave you in question 5. I need absolute silence, please. And that is exactly like the question I gave in number 5. So we're going to try one together now. For the gradient point form, I've seen a lot of students use this approach, but this is another approach. We will do maybe a part of the question in 2 ways. You can choose to use any method you like. Okay? So please pay attention now. From y equals mx plus c, that is using the first approach. You know the gradient to be -4. So y, and it passes through this point. So m equals -4. Then you have a point 1, 2, which is your coordinate xy, or maybe x1, y1. You get my point?
Yep.
So this is a point on the line. Okay? It means at a particular point in time, y was 2 when x is 1. On this same line, and the gradient is always constant. Does it make sense? So if you substitute all these, y is 2, m is -4, x is 1, and this is where your c can be deduced from. Does this make sense? So 2 plus 4 equals 6, so the intercept is 6. You know your gradients, and you just figure out your c, then you go back to y equals mx plus c. Does it make sense? So using that one point, you can find the intercept. Because gradient is constant any point. Look at it. This is your line. Because the gradient is negative, the line looks like this. At this point, the gradient is -4. At this point, the gradient is -4. At this point, the gradient is -4. At every point, the gradient is -4. Okay? So that -4 is constant. So, assuming this point is here. So even at this point, m is still -4. So that is why when we substitute this, we still take our gradient to be -4. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So we use that to find our c. So many people are comfortable with this. It's fine. Another way is, there is a standard formula you could use directly for gradient point form. If you have your gradient and your point, we use that. Now, how does this even make sense? From any 2 points, remember, when you have any 2 points, m is equal to y2 minus y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. Remember this? Remember this? So assuming we do not know the second coordinates, x2, y2, so they are just variable y and x. So when you cross multiply, you can establish y minus y1, m bracket x minus x1. So the only point you are given is this. And this is how you can use that directly. So you don't have to go through finding your intercept. You can just go straight from here. Okay? So if I put this in now for question 5a again, I get, substitute for me everybody, y
minus 2 equal to negative 4, 1, x minus 1.
like that. So if you simplify this, you should get the same thing. So y minus 2, negative 4x plus 4, correct? So I just take this to the other side, negative 4x plus 4, then plus 2, y equals negative 4x plus 6. Same. No, but not many people will remember what the formula looks like. So it doesn't matter, whatever convenient for you. Does it make sense? So if you have not done 5b, can I ask you to do it now? Preferably use the two methods to see if you get the same thing. You can choose to use any method when you have a graded exercise, or when you have a test, or maybe some exam. You choose any method you want. But for the class practice, I'll add one more question for 5C. Can I please ask you to, I'll make 5C and 5D more of the C and D here. Indirect questions, okay? So don't forget what we did for the indirect questions. Please make sure you do 5B in the two ways that I used. Because the instruction will look different, so I call this 6A and 6B. So the general instruction is 6, find the equation of the line. Which is just want you to learn to simplify an equation, not because it's not acceptable. But if you are used to simplifying your equations, whether it is acceptable or not, you're used to doing it. But if you are not used to simplifying your equation, then when you get to a level where simplification is necessary, it becomes difficult for you to adapt. Currently, I'm struggling with some people in grade 6 and Form 1 who will leave all their answers in this form, or 25/100, because they are used to write however you want. Okay? So even if the instruction says simplify your answer, students stop here. I had a test on Friday. The instruction was clear, simplify your fraction. They still stop here because they are used to not simplifying the something. So now they are struggling. But assuming they are used to simplifying from grade 3, grade 4, grade 5, whether or not there's an instruction to simplify, they will always simplify. Do you understand the idea? So that's why I like to, yes please. Yes ma'am. So please try question 6. Question 6, A and B, it's like the twisted one, C and D here as well. So please think about it. 5 minutes should be enough.
Thank you.